Good evening, Second District.
Good evening.
I said good evening, Second District.
Yeah, Mitch.
To the people in Todman and Leonard, Chalwell and Doty and Mayaba and Spooners, Shannon and Harrigan and Newbush, Diamond and Anderson Hill, Green Mountain, and especially the people here in the Meyers area. Good night to you. It was about 8 years old when I moved a stone throw away and grew up right here in this yard with my cousin and friend Rudolph Klein. It was right here when my parents moved up, where I was embraced by the people in the countryside area, in the Chalwell area, where I made a whole lot of friends, where I learned from the elders and those that came before me on what this country life is all about. Before I start, again, I will acknowledge God in everything I do. So I acknowledge God for being head of my life. I acknowledge my parents, my mother and my father, and my beautiful wife and daughter. And then I acknowledge the premier and this entire at-large team for the NDP, and I see the Honorable Mark in the house. Give them a round of applause. Second District, I asked the question again tonight. Do we still agree that we need change? Is the picture of what that change will look like a little bit more clear to you? Last week I laid out some plans for the Second District, and I tried my best to cover it holistically. But we're in a very unique place in the Second District, which is the Meyers and the Chalwell area, which covers a very important part of this district. I need to take 2 minutes. Can I get 2 minutes? I need to address some misconceptions and attempts that were made to assassinate my character and my integrity. I am only doing this because I have worked tirelessly. I stand on the shoulders of my parents and those that came before me, and I believe I must protect the integrity for which I stand on.
Go ahead. There you go. Speak the truth.
It was quoted that I called the current representative names. That is a lie. I did no such thing. I have spoken to you the people in the Second District, and most of you have acknowledged your feelings that you feel neglected and uninvolved in the decisions of this district. You feel abandoned by the representative making a decision without your consultation. I believe that when people are going to talk, just like Honorable Walwyn said, they should talk the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I also believe that when one has to make a decision, they weigh their options. They talk to whomever they need to talk to. They research in order to make an informed decision. I believe that is normal. What is not normal is for the representative of the people, elected by the people, to make a decision to leave the people without consulting the people for whom he have been elected over 20 years. What is not normal is the fact that we are just supposed to ignore the actions and move on. We are expected now to not receive any answers or hold anyone accountable because there is somebody new under his leadership. Note that I said still under his leadership. Second District community, I believe if I'm going to ask you to hold me accountable, I think we ought to we ought to demand that we still hold our representatives accountable. This premier, this government has asked you to hold them accountable, and that's all I'm asking. When you use words and you speak untruths long enough, they become the truth. The thought is that whatever you give your attention to, the very spirit of that thing comes to live in you. So the more you speak a lie, the more you hear a lie, it becomes the truth. I will state for the record again, Second District. I have nothing but the utmost respect for the honorable representative of this Second District. I also respect that the work that he has done very early in his career. What I do not accept and would not accept is the way that we have been forced and treated and left behind. I believe that we deserve proper representation in this district. Excuses are not good enough. That's why change continues to remain necessary. There's also another quote that says, inspiration is the purest form of leadership. Those who cannot inspire resort to intimidation, manipulation, and seduction. I refuse to be intimidated by words. I will not be manipulated by anyone, and most certainly will not be seduced. We have been taken for granted, and I am here standing with strength, health, and passion, ready to serve you, the people of this Second District. Because our district needs attention, and we need this attention right now. We laid out the plan for beautification, and I touched with families and I spoke with families in this area and talked about the beautification and tidiness of the district. In order to present the product that we have in the BVI, and especially in this district, we must keep it clean. And there are persons that we have reached out to and spoken to, I won't name their names, that are willing to get their hands involved. The human resource of this district and of this country is by far our richest resource. Without the human capital, who will we bring our tourists to? Who would manage our financial services? The human resources. That's why we educate people. That's why we send them away to get training. That's why they come back. That's why we can look to our seniors and elders for the legacy and the history that exists in our community so that we can be better. There must be a bridging of the gap between our seniors and our young people coming up. I cannot know where I'm going unless I know where I came from.
Yeah.
The derelict cars and boats that we have all through this neighborhood. Honorable Archibald Christian has done a good job thus far in keeping the place clean. What I want to do and to be able to do is lay out a 3, a 5, and a 10-year plan. Not just a plan, but a sketch of what we want this district to look like. But it would not be done in your absence. It will be done with the concerns, with the voices, with the issues that you have, and even the suggestions that you have given me all along this campaign trail. I do not believe in just coming to you just for this season. If I'm going to be your representative, I have to be present. I have to be visible. I must be accessible to hear the concerns and the needs that you have. We talked about our fishing resources, our financial resources. We have the finance services and we have tourism, and we're talking about the fishing. God rest his soul, my uncle Ashley Turnbull, Dreadman, was a fisherman. A very passionate man just about life in general. There are people who in this district still can plug into those resources. Plug in to the resources so that we protect the resource that we have in the ocean so that everybody else doesn't come and take up what we have. That brings revenue into our country. There also needs to be laws. Laws that are enforced to stop those outsiders from taking our resources and selling it and sending it elsewhere. That is our product. That's why the Lord has blessed us with all these islands and keys and surrounded us by water. If we don't protect and preserve what we have, somebody else will use it. Talking about our seniors and our heritage. I look to people like Miss Audrina down in Harrigan, and Miss Iona in New Bush, and Miss Ann in Bruce Bay, who cook and create art. I just purchased a rug, one of those old cloth rugs for Miss Audrina. She said it's the 4th one she made. I'm going to keep that so my daughter understands what it is, where it came from, because that's all we had. We must preserve our culture and our heritage. It makes no sense chasing after money and chasing after money if we don't understand who we are as a people. Yeah. That's why the plan was laid out to introduce and allow the Minister of Education seek his acceptance for our seniors to be allowed into the schools, to tell stories and teach history lessons about our BVI culture, about how things were when they were growing up. How else will our children know? Yeah. How else would our children know? And what better way to get it across than from the mouths of those who went through the process? Comes to education, we talked about, and I give you my word, I am not making any promises. Creating scholarship funds and naming the funds not after Melvin Mitch Turnbull, but after the stalwart educations in this 2nd district community, people like Teacher Josephine and Teacher Karen and Miss Sylvie Adams, and those people who have given up their time and energy to provide scholarships for children that are graduating primary school and going on to higher education. We must celebrate our children. The community center, this very area, right across down there in Diamond. There's land purchase in Diamond where the basketball court that the minister assured me will be completed. Will be completed. Will be completed. And then there's some other land over in the Chalwell area There is place enough for us to put a community center for the people of this district, of this community, so that we can offer resources, offer after-school programs, offer tutoring programs, offer mentorship programs, offer trade programs, where our people that have been trained in carpentry and mechanics and agriculture and architecture and construction can give and train our young people, so that they're not sitting idly by and falling on the corners and getting pregnant for no reason. But even for those that fall in that arena of pregnancy and teenage pregnancy, offer after-school programs, training programs to help them with the development, to help them prepare for what they have faced. We cannot, and I will not give up on our young people. I will not give up on our seniors. I will not give up on you, Second District. Where is it that our children play outside of school? We're becoming so busy that cars are going everywhere, to and fro. If we just create a recreation center, a park, a playground or something, so that they can congregate and play and have fun after school, that doesn't take a whole lot of money. All it takes is vision and the heart to fight to get it done for our people. Not just giving excuses, but fighting to get the people in this community, to get the government to jump on board and say, this is what we're doing. We don't need all the money. All we need you to is come alongside and help us. The water issue that we have. We sat in a house earlier, we heard about the water situation. I know it's a part of the government's overall water systems project, to provide this area with running street water. That is something that we just need representation on, just somebody to report and say what has been done. And that's something that I have reported thus far to be addressed. We must show concern for the people that we are representing. And I'm telling you tonight, I am here because I will show support. I will not only give you my word, I will act on my word to ensure that the necessary things of this district are accomplished. To work alongside this team that I stand with, this team that I stand with, which involves 12 other people with myself, the A team, to ensure that there is a master plan laid out for the entire second district. That the infrastructural things that need to be completed, the sewage and the water issues and the buildings and the structures will be done, so that the second district is running alongside with every other district, and together the BVI grows all at one time, because you have somebody that is not afraid to lend their voice. We must instill and continue to instill pride in our youth and our young people. They are not lost. They are not left out. They are still our future. And I'm proud to say that the way the government has looked out for our young people thus far in this 3.5 years of government gives a good indication of how we would feel standing and saying, I am from the Virgin Islands, and I am proud to be from the Virgin Islands, because there are things put in place. There are educational processes put in place. There are mentorships projects put in place. There are facilities put in place for my overall development and growth. We talk about the social ills. And that's where I'm going to spend a little bit more time tonight, and then I'll close. It's okay to say you have a concern about young women and young men dropping out of school and on drugs. It's okay to say it politically. It's okay to say it in passing. It's okay to say it because it is a real concern. It's another thing to do something about it. My entire life is dedicated to service. The Honorable Minister talked about when I left my job. And he was indeed right. It was a call from the Lord God Almighty. To work with the young people, because I sat in the youth courts, thanks to the Honorable Minister of Health, Ronnie Skelton. He threw me in there, actually. But to work with the courts and see the issues that were surrounding our young people, not just dropouts, not just those on drugs, those are stealing, those are committing different types of crimes. Both male and female, those who are disrespecting their parents and disrespecting their teachers and just walking out and doing what they will. That's why I got involved, because I could not afford to see our young men and our young women just go on the wayside and become a product of society, a statistic even of society. I believe in being the change. That's why I got involved in the youth movement, because I believe that if I could lend my voice just to one and change the mindset and the thinking of one, then my living would not be in vain. So it's okay to talk about it. Action speaks louder than words. I've been there and I will continue to be there to serve our young people, to show them that there are people that still care. And I will continue to hold the churches. I will continue to hold governments. I will continue to hold parents. I will continue to hold educators accountable for our children, because together we build this nation. Together we stand. And divided we will continue to fall. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, everything that's in you, if you have any bit of concern for this country, if you care about this country like I do, I ask you, on election day, June 8th, think about where we are. Think about where we want to go. Think about what is coming after us. And be reminded of what our foreparents did when they prepared the way for us. And make the switch for true representation. Make the switch for somebody who is accessible. Make the switch for somebody that has passion. And make the switch for somebody who will not quit or walk away from you. I will consult the people of the 2nd District and vote for the Premier, Dr. D. Orlando Smith, and the entire NDP team on election day. God bless you and God bless these Virgin Islands.